Hello and welcome back to Heart of the Holte. It's been a long and painful year to have been an Aston Villa fan, yet again, and I just couldn't bring myself to do a whole 2017 in review. So I thought, why not do a December in review? Let's get things started. Looks like Steve Bruce auditioned for the Goonies. We went into December on a 2-game win streak, playing Leeds United away from home in what was a very busy month of fixtures in the Championship. Pontus Jansson struck early for Leeds, scoring from a corner, which was a pretty start to December. In what world does anybody out-jump Chris Samba? The guy's like 6'4", he's bigger than me. He's an absolute giant. Set pieces should be his thing, he should be heading everything away. I know he got caught wrong side of Jansson, but he should have corrected that. He should have headed that away with ease. Considering Steve Bruce's reputation has always been built on his teams being tough to beat and excellent on set pieces, this was a very tough one to take. John Terry, we miss you. And then out of nowhere, a wild Henry Lansbury rocks up with a fresh trim and his shooting boots on as he capitalises on a mistake that Pontus Jansson made and scored from outside the box, managing to salvage a point from Ellen Road. Henry Lansbury, it's safe to say this made me very excited. The game ended as a 1-1 draw, which wasn't too bad. Next up we had Millwall, such a classy club. Nothing much to really say about this game. This is a game that we should easily be winning. I'm just genuinely lost for words. Anyway, let's move on to Derby away, where the ghost of Christmas past came to haunt us once again, with Andy Vyman scoring a tap-in, assisted by Matej Vidra, which really, the assist should have gone down to Glenn Whelan for his god-awful back pass. What the fuck was he even doing? He just absolutely gifted him the ball. Like, in what world would Whelan even play a back pass like that? And if he is going to play the back pass, surely he'd put a lot more on it than he did. Because, well, it quite clearly just went straight to Matej Vidra, didn't even reach Sam Johnston's box. So even if, you know, if Vidra wasn't there, that was just genuinely just such a poor pass back. I genuinely can't get my head around it. Like, what was he even doing? Following our disappointing away defeat to Derby, we played high-flying Sheffield United at home. And within 8 minutes, we were already 2-0 up, and I genuinely didn't know what to do with myself. I got extremely excited. 2-0 up in 8 minutes. When does that ever happen at Villa Park? Usually 2-0 to the away side. Despite Adoma converting his penalty and Jedinak scoring a towering header at the back post, Sheffield United came back into it as Mile Jedinak made a few mistakes and ex-Blues man Clayton Donaldson capitalised on these mistakes and scored one fantastic goal from range, and another where Jedinak just genuinely should have tried to actually run for the ball instead of throw himself at it. I think he should be quicker than he thinks. I mean, we know he's slow, but if even he's not willing to run for the ball and just throw himself at it, then it's bad news really. It's come from an inability to organise the side, and when we're 2-0 up, we should stay organised and stay compact, as my dad likes to say, and we shouldn't be on the back foot away from home. I know Sheffield United have performed exceptionally well this year, but these are a team that we should be beating, and with us being 2-0 up within 8 minutes, we genuinely should have. They had absolutely none of the ball. You know, the first sort of 15 minutes, you could argue it was all us. And I think a part of the reason why we didn't exploit them as much as we could have was because Snodgrass and Adoma weren't exploiting the space between the full-backs and the centre-backs, because when you play a back three, there's going to be so much space out wide that these boys have got to exploit. 2-2 was the final score, a very disappointing game. Next up was Boxing Day, where Villa, for some reason, were playing at 7:30 at night in Brentford, away from home. Like, Sky just sorted out, yeah? Just absolutely shocking. We sold out our allocation, which was fantastic. Great to see so many villains get down there, but 7:30, man, I mean, like, just fair play to all the travelling fans, because that must have been tough. Brentford scored early on, capitalised on a mistake from, can you guess who? Can you guess? Oh, you can, because it was Glenn Whelan. Romain Sawyer scored from outside the box from an awful Glenn Whelan clearance, which put the Bees 1-0 up very early on. Ex-Brentford man Scott Hogan put the ball in the box, and the chance was converted by Josh Onoma, who scored his 4th goal this season, scoring a header in the back post. However, Brentford sealed the winning goal from a corner on a mistake that Onoma made, which rebounded off Elphick, which fell perfectly into the path of Lasse Viber, who scored and won 3 points for the Bees. An absolutely shambolic performance. We did have our chances later on in the game, about sort of final 10 minutes we put Keenan Davis on and we really started to trouble him with balls in the box, and Keenan himself just hit just wide of the post with his weaker foot as well. But this is a game which Brentford we should be beating, and now they're kind of climbing the table, trying to challenge for playoffs, and it really put us in a very bad situation. And finally we had Middlesbrough away, the Adoma versus Adama derby, and at Borough, Gary Monk had recently been sacked and they'd recently appointed Tony Pulis. Tony Pulis of all people. This added another story arc to a game which had a lot more than 3 points up for grabs. As the away side, we had 55% possession and 5 shots on target throughout the whole game, which, as an away side, very good. This gets 10 Heart of the Holte thumbs up out of a possible 10 Heart of the Holte thumbs up. Yeah, on the 75th minute, Robert Snodgrass scored a header from an Albert Adoma cross and was swiftly taken out WWE style after he put away the goal. So how do I even begin to summarise Aston Villa in this month? December is such an important month for any championship team, not even at the top, at the bottom, because if you can put together a run of games, I always say this, anyone can be in a shout for the playoffs. And whilst we didn't pick up as many points as I'd have liked, and I know that plenty of other people would have liked, thanks to our win against Bristol, which will come up in our January review, we're comfortably in the playoffs, and long may that continue. Our form has been like a broken traffic light. It takes a while to go, but then when it gets going, boom, off you go. 2 wins on the row now for Aston Villa. Let's build on this and win at the weekend against Peterborough in the FA Cup. If you enjoyed this video, please like and comment below how you think January is going to go. Hopefully we have a much better January than we do December. We have some very tough fixtures coming up, but up next we have Peterborough away in the Cup, so let's hope for us to advance in the FA Cup. So if you like this, as I say, like the video and up the Villa, guys. What? I'm trying to film something.